the elevated punishments that could come with the death, aggravated vehicular homicide, things of that nature. Fortunately, these two that you're mentioning didn't result in that. There are other potential charges that we've done. I think the one that we did the last, and I can't remember if it was an open case or not, from Friday. What was the guy's name?
That's why I was referring to that he came out on 159.
Yeah, that particular case. Had stolen the vehicle in Nashville and was traveling down 159. He struck and damaged the Road Tech building.
Yeah.
I believe right next to Donato's.
Yeah.
So there is a charge that's associated with that as far as the vandalism charge.
Property damage.
On the value of the property. There is also, I'm drawing a blank on the other charge.
I think just failure to comply. Well, I didn't see a charge.
No, it was a receiving stolen property for the vehicle having been stolen.
Yeah.
Fourth degree felony on that. As far as the disruption of public services, on the one that we're talking about that was presented on Friday, there was some question going back and forth about were the telephone poles, because there were two that were struck, if they belonged to the city or if they belonged to AEP. And I think by the time we got to grand jury presentation, we had just found out that they were AEP and not city poles. So we're still trying to gather information from AEP about the value of loss on those. So there could be more charges coming with respect to those.
But it would be impossible to calculate the charge of loss of power to downtown or wherever it was at that time.
There are certain statutes like disrupting public services, things of that nature that might come into play. Fortunately, we don't have a long history of losing power downtown because somebody ran into a telephone pole.
Yeah.
It does happen from time to time, but it's not something that happens all the time.
But there's no charge that you can make for high-speed chase or endangering public safety, something like
That's
that.
the failure to comply statute.
It falls under that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Operating a motor vehicle after receiving an audible or visible signal from a police officer to bring your vehicle to a stop. And then the operation of that vehicle caused a substantial risk of serious physical harm to persons or property, or it did cause serious physical harm to persons or property.
Well, since this issue came up twice recently in a couple news stories, I wanted to learn a little more about it.
Absolutely, and I haven't had a chance to see the report yet on, was it Friday morning, Thursday morning? The most recent one.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday.
That happened the end of last week. I haven't had a chance to see that report yet in order to look at the facts of that to see if there's anything else that might be in play. Obviously, if he's intentionally hitting vehicles, if he's intentionally hitting pedestrians, things of that nature, there's going to be more substantial charges that could arise from that. But as far as just high-speed chase, like you had indicated, that's what the failure to comply statute is.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
No problem at all.
Ross County Prosecutor
Jeff Marks.
Jeff Marks?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And we'll hear about our latest high-speed chase in the future grand jury.
Oh, we'll see. I have to get a chance to take a look at the report first.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.